let us continue with that. So Newton's law in circular motion. Okay. So we solved certain questions also based on Newton's law in circular motion. Now let us talk about more questions. So there is an object which is tied to a string. Okay. So this is the object. It is tied of mass m. Okay. And it is tied to a string. Now this object is moving in circular path. This object is moving in a horizontal circular path, as you can see. Okay. So the object is here and this is the string. Okay. This is an object of mass m is moving in a horizontal circular path. Horizontal circular path of radius r. Okay, so this is radius r. Now the next question is, if speed of object is if speed of object is v, find angle made by find angle made by string with vertical. Okay, so what you need to find is angle made by string with vertical. Please solve, everyone. Enough time given, everyone. Please pay attention. So in this question, mg will be acting vertically downward. mg will be acting on object vertically downward. Okay, that is gravitational force. It always acts vertically downward. And the mass m is connected only to string. So string will be exerting tension in string T, and that will be along the length of string. T is as per this. Now what we can do, we resolve T into two components. So one component will be along vertical. So if this angle is theta, this will also be theta, and this will be T cos theta. One component will be along horizontal, and this will be T sin theta. Okay. So for mass m, for mass m, now number one, along vertical. So along vertical, what you can see is T cos theta minus mg is equal to 0. T cos theta minus mg is equal to 0, and that gives you T cos theta is equal to mg, equation number 1. Now along horizontal, so what you can see along horizontal, that T sin theta is acting along horizontal, and that will be providing necessary centripetal force. So T sin theta is equal to mv square by r. That is equation number 2. Now I divide 2 by 1. Divide, dividing 2 by 1. So what do we get? T sin theta upon T cos theta is equal to mv square by r upon mg. Okay, so that will you mm tt. So sin theta upon cos theta becomes tan theta is equal to v square upon rg, and that is the answer. So theta will be tan inverse v square upon rg. Please keep your mic muted. Okay. We have heard that corona is spreading even by online coughing. Please keep your mic muted. Noted, everyone. So theta comes out to be tan inverse v square upon rg. Okay. Let us move further. Next question. Let us move further. Next question. Question. So an object is moving. An object is moving in, or rather than in, on horizontal table in circular path of radius r. Okay, so let me draw the diagram. What is happening? So this is a horizontal table, and object is moving on circular path. Now This is the object. So mass of object is small m. This is center C. This is a string. This is string and radius is r. Now with that string, another part is connected to an object of mass m. Capital M. Okay. So question says find relation between, now this speed is v. Find relation between small m, capital M, V and R such that capital M remains stationary. Capital M remains stationary. So let me again explain the question. There is a horizontal table, okay, and that table is smooth. So that is shown by that rectangular table. On that table, there is a small m mass which is moving on a circular path of radius r, capital R, right? And speed of the small m is v. Other end of the string is passing through a hole. Other end of the string is passing through a hole at point C. So basically there is a hole. All right. There is a hole. So from that hole, the string is passing, and at other end of the string, mass m is, capital M is connected. Okay. So what basically we need to find is what is relation between small m, capital M, R and V such that capital M remains stable. So please find answer, everyone. Please solve and find the answer. Okay, everyone, please pay attention. Now for small m, what we can see is, pay attention. That small mg is acting downward. I have to draw it like this because we need to show n also. So this is in vertical direction. In horizontal, only Fc will be acting. Fc is centripetal force. So for small m, along vertical. So what you can see is n minus small mg is equal to 0. This is equation number 1. Okay. Along horizontal. So along horizontal, what you can see is Fc is centripetal force, and that is provided by tension in string. So Fc is equal to mv square by r. This is equation 2. Now for capital M, for capital M, what we can see for capital M, mg is acting downward, t is acting upward. So capital T minus mg is equal to 0, and that is equation number 3. So from 2 and 3, from 2 and 3. So what we can see is mv square by r, and that is small mv square by r, is equal to capital M G. So this is the relation actually. This is the relation. Okay, small mv square by r is equal to capital M G. All right. This is the answer. Okay. Any doubt, any question, anyone? If you have any doubt, any question, please feel free to ask. If you have any doubt, please feel free to ask. Yes, Komal. Komal, you are saying something? Okay. Next question. Komal is saying, so in centripetal force, we should consider only moving body mass. See, the object which is performing circular motion, only that is needed. Whenever you are solving any question, you are drawing FBD of individual object. Keep that thing in mind. We are discussing, we are dealing with one object. So we talk about that. Okay. Okay, good. Next question. Or rather than question, let us talk about next topic, and that is pseudo force. No, tension in string will not be due to both. Try to understand what is happening. Tension at this point and tension at this point, these both tensions are same. So tension at one end is supporting mg from falling. Tension at another end is helping small m to move on circular path. Same tension is playing two roles at two places. At one place, it is holding capital Mg. At one place, it is holding capital Mg, and at another place it is making sure that small m is moving on circular path. All right. All right, Komal. Okay. Okay. So now next topic is pseudo force. Pseudo force. Okay. But before understanding this, let me tell you one story. So long ago, when people around the world were suffering, science was not much developed. People did not know that how much force will be acting, and when that force is acting, what will be the motion of object, how much will be acceleration, what all changes will occur to the object. These things were not known. So scientific community at that time, they started praying to the almighty lord of physics, and that almighty lord of physics was Newton. Okay. So when they prayed for a long time, and Newton saw that they all are suffering, so he appeared in front of them and he said, "What happened? What do you want? Why you are remembering me?" Then they said, "Sir, we are in deep trouble. We don't know how things are happening. We don't know when we are applying force, how the object will move, what will be the acceleration, what will be the further type of motion. We don't know about all this. Please enlighten us. Please guide us." So Newton said, "Okay, all right. I found your problem as genuine. I am giving you these three laws. These laws will be called Newton's law of motion. And whenever you are going to apply laws of motion, you will find your answers." Pratyusha is talking about something else. No, Pratyusha, we are not talking about that. Okay. So when all that happened, then Newton gave those three laws to the mankind. And after getting those laws, people were very happy. They started shouting, in praise of Newton. Correct? While they were about to leave after thanking Newton, Newton said, "But there is one condition." Newton said, "But there is one condition." Now people felt bad. They felt a little bit cheated also, but they could not say anything. Then they asked, "Sir, please tell, what are those conditions?" So Newton said, "You can apply these laws, but these laws will be applicable only in inertial frame of reference." So Newton's law, please note that Newton's law are applicable only in only in inertial frame of reference. Only in inertial frame of reference. Now people said, "Sir, what is this inertial frame of reference?" Newton said, "Yes, your question is valid. Let me answer it." So inertial frame of reference. Inertial frame of reference. Okay. So Newton said that on the basis of acceleration, frame of references are of two types. On the basis of on the basis of acceleration. So what is criteria? Acceleration. So on the basis of acceleration of reference, frame of references are of two types. One is inertial frame of reference, and other one will be obviously non-inertial frame of reference. Non-inertial frame of reference. So what are these inertial and non-inertial? Let us talk about them. So basic inertial frame of references, inertial frame of references are those frame which do not accelerate, Okay. So basically, suppose if an object is observed from someone who is at rest, then that frame will be called as inertial frame of reference. Or if an object is observed from a frame of reference which is moving with constant velocity, then also the frame of reference will be called inertial frame of reference. Why? Because anything which is at rest, it has zero acceleration, and anything which has constant velocity is also inertial frame of reference. Okay. So which all will be inertial frame of references? A frame of reference. I'm more explaining, which is at rest or moving with constant velocity, is an inertial frame. So what is an inertial frame? Such frame of reference either which is at rest or moving with constant velocity. Such frame of reference which is either at rest or moving with constant velocity is an inertial frame of reference. All right. Okay. Now, what is non-inertial frame of reference? A frame of reference which is not inertial will be non-inertial. Okay. The non-inertial frame of reference, it will be very easy to find now. Non-inertial frame. Okay. So a frame of reference which is accelerated, a frame of reference which is accelerated is called non-inertial frame. Okay. Okay. Now I have a question to ask. Before we move further. Our Earth, what kind of frame of reference is inertial or non-inertial? Please tell. Earth is inertial frame of reference or non-inertial frame of reference? Please tell. Give me the answer. Komal is saying inertial, Ram is saying inertial, Ron is saying inertial, Pratyusha is saying inertial, Pooja is saying inertial, Deepika is saying non-inertial, Priyanshu is saying inertial. Okay, and two people are supporting Deepika also. Three people are supporting now. Chrisley, Isha and Rubaika. Manhaz is saying non-inertial. Okay. Everyone please pay attention. As per definition, as per the definition of frame of reference is Earth is non-inertial. Listen very carefully. As per definition, it is non-inertial, but for all practical purposes, we consider it as inertial. So all of you are correct actually. Okay. If you go by definition, what is being taught to you, it should be non-inertial. But to keep things simple, to make our life simple, we consider it as inertial frame of reference. Okay, good. So basic thing is that Newton's law can be applied only in inertial frame of reference. That's what Newton said. That's what Newton said. And what are inertial frame of reference? Such frame of references which are non-accelerating. So either the frame of reference is at rest, that means if a person is at rest, that will be called as inertial frame of reference. Or if a person is moving with constant velocity, then also that person will be called inertial frame of reference. All right, let us move further. Let us move further. So, as Newton said that his laws are applicable in inertial frame. So, what will happen if we want to apply Newton's law in non-inertial frame? So, is it that we cannot apply outrightly? So, people said at that time, those who were there, they said, "Sir, you are the almighty God of physics and nothing is beyond you. You are the superpower. You can do anything." So they started buttering. So Newton also realized that what they are doing. So he said, yeah, I understand what you are trying to do. So they said, "Sir, please tell us the method or some way using which we can apply your laws in non-inertial frame of reference also." That means they wanted to apply Newton's law in non-inertial frame. Correct? So what Newton said, if Newton's law are to be applied in non-inertial frame, you have to do some upay. Okay, it's a Hindi word. So what you need to do is you need to apply one extra force, and that force will be called pseudo force. That force will be called pseudo force. So please write, to apply Newton's law, to apply Newton's law in non-inertial frame, in non-inertial frame, an extra force has to be applied, has to be applied on the object, on the object. Okay, so basically this is telling us that when do we need to apply a pseudo force. Okay, when pseudo force will come into picture, this will come into picture if motion of object is studied from a non-inertial frame. That means motion of an object is studied from an accelerated frame. Okay, so this is the criteria for pseudo force to be applied, that study of motion should be done from non-inertial frame, right? Okay, so this is the condition that when we are going to apply. Now comes the next part, how much will be the pseudo force. So let us talk about that. Magnitude of pseudo force, magnitude of pseudo force. So F pseudo is equal to M to A ref. Magnitude of pseudo force will be M into A ref. So what is M? M is mass of object under observation. Mass of object under observation, right? Aref is acceleration of frame of reference. Aref is acceleration of frame of reference. Okay, so this is the magnitude of pseudo force. So basically we have talked two things. Number one, when pseudo force is to be applied. So this is very clear. When study of motion is done from an accelerated frame or non-inertial frame. Value of force will be F is equal to M into A ref. M into A ref. That is the magnitude of pseudo force. All right. Now comes the third part, and third part is direction of pseudo force. Okay. So direction of pseudo force will be opposite to the direction of acceleration of frame of reference. Okay. So whatever is the direction of acceleration of frame of reference, pseudo force will be acting opposite to that. So now we can write it in vector form. So F pseudo vector is equal to minus M into A ref. So what is minus sign telling you here? Minus sign is telling you that direction is opposite to the direction of frame of reference. Okay. Understood, everyone? Any doubt, any question? Any doubt, any question? Good. So now let me give you a question. Question. An object of mass 5 kg is observed from a frame accelerating with A vector is equal to 3i plus 4j minus 5k. Okay, meters per second square. Find pseudo force. Find pseudo force acting on the object. Okay, please find. Find pseudo force acting or to be applied. Both have same meaning. So basically, F pseudo is equal to minus m into a ref. Okay, so minus is outside, m is how much? 5, and a ref is 3i plus 4j minus 5k. So that will make minus 5 into 3 15 I cap minus 5 into 4 20 j cap plus 5 into 5 25 k cap. So this is the answer. All right. If you have questions, please feel free to ask. Minus 15i plus 20j plus 25k. All of you have got the correct answer. No doubt about it. Let us move further. Question. So this is a block of mass, let's say 10 kg. Okay. A force is acting on it and the value of force is 50 Newton. Now there are two persons. One person is A and that person is at rest. Another person is B and that person is moving with 2 meters per second square. 2 meters per second square. Okay. So what we need to do is find acceleration of block. Find acceleration of block. Number 1 with respect to A. Number 2 with respect to B. Okay. Easy question, but it will make you understand that how pseudo force works. So everyone please pay attention. Now there are two frames basically. One frame is with respect to A. So A is what kind of frame? A is inertial frame. So with respect to A, what is happening? mg is 10g acting downward. N is acting upward. So in vertical, we are not talking. Along horizontal, we are talking. Along horizontal, we are talking. So what we can see is F resultant in a frame is 50 and that should be equal to mass into acceleration. So 50 is equal to mass is 10 into A. So A comes out to be 5 meters per second square. A comes out to be 5 meters per second square. Okay, this is with respect to A. This is with respect to A, correct? Now with respect to B. If we talk with respect to B. So with respect to B, what we can see, everyone please pay attention. Now we need to apply one pseudo force. Why? Because B is accelerated frame. So as B is accelerated frame, we have to apply a pseudo force. And F pseudo will be how much? M, which is 10 into A ref, that is 20. Okay. A ref is 2, so that comes out to be 20. Now pay attention everyone. Why we have applied the direction of pseudo force opposite to the acceleration? Because that's how it is defined. So F resultant with respect to B is how much? F minus F pseudo. So that means 50 minus 20, and that should be equal to M into A with respect to B. Okay. So M is 10 and A with respect to B is to be calculated. AB comes out to be 50 minus 20 is 30 upon 10 will be 3 meters per second square. So that is 3 meters per second square. That is 3 meters per second square. Please note everyone. Noted everyone? Any doubt, any question? All right, next question. So there is a cart. Okay. And it is accelerating with a acceleration. Now there is an object tied to a string which was hanging. Okay, this is M. Now due to this acceleration, what will happen? The object will go slightly backward and it will be here. It will be here. So if this is cart, if cart accelerates with A as shown, find find angle theta made by string with the vertical. String with the vertical. Find angle theta made by string with the vertical. Okay, please find. Ronald is saying tan inverse G by A. Gauri is saying tan inverse G by A. Chrisley is saying tan inverse A by G. Deepika is saying tan inverse A by G. So there is a tie. Two people are saying G by A. Two people are saying A by G. So let's see who is right and who is wrong. CI is saying tan inverse A by G. So A by G are now leading. Team A by G is... Somebody is talking. Good. Ishika, your mic is unmuted. Please mute it. Thank you. Team A by G is leading, and by observing that, Ronald has changed the team. Very nice. Very nice. Everyone, please pay attention. Please pay attention and see what is happening. In this question, actually, mg will be acting downward. Mg will be acting downward, and tension will be acting like this. Okay. Now, there are two options basically. You can observe this motion from ground. You can observe this motion from ground. Okay. Or you can observe this motion from inside the cart. Okay. Now, if you are observing the motion from inside the cart, you are in an accelerating frame. Okay. So studying the motion, I am writing, studying the motion with respect to cart. studying the motion with respect to cart. Why? Because we have learned pseudo force. We want to apply pseudo force and we won't miss any opportunity to apply pseudo force, right? So what we need to do, we need to apply a pseudo force also. So F pseudo, and how much that will be? M is the mass into A, because A ref is A, and direction will be what? Direction will be opposite to the direction of acceleration of cart. Now in holy presence of all these three forces, tension, mg and F pseudo, the mass m is at rest. So what we need to do, we need to resolve forces in vertical and horizontal, and then we need to apply NLM, Newton's law of motion. So theta, if this is theta, alternate angle, right? So upward force will be T cos theta. Horizontal force will be T sine theta, right? So for M along vertical, for M along vertical, so what we can see is T cos theta minus mg is equal to 0. T cos theta minus mg is equal to 0, and that gives us T cos theta is equal to mg. Equation number 1. Along horizontal, what will happen? So along horizontal, so what we can see is T sine theta is equal to F pseudo, and how much is that? It is MA. So T sine theta is equal to MA, and that is equation number 2. So if I divide, so dividing 2 by 1, dividing 2 by 1. So what we can see is T sine theta upon T cos theta is equal to MA upon MG, MMTT. So tan theta is equal to A by G. So theta is equal to tan inverse A by G. Okay. So answer is tan inverse A by N to tan inverse A by G. Okay. 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 Next question. Next question. So there is an inclined plane. I didn't want it to be like this. Hmm. Hmm. So theta This is capital M. This is small m. So the question says find acceleration. This is smooth. Question is find acceleration of m, capital M basically, such that small m does not slip on it. Yeah, I said there are two ways. Another way will be with respect to ground. Okay, Vedant. In another way, what you are going to write, you are going to solve the question in grounds frame, and in grounds frame, t cos theta will be equal to mg and t sin theta will be equal to mass into acceleration. So in that case, you are not applying pseudo force. T sin theta will be F resultant and that will be equal to mass into acceleration. So ultimately you will get the same value. Okay. All right. Give me the answer, everyone. Okay, everyone, please pay attention. So in this question, again, we are going to solve this in Planck's frame. Planck's frame means this frame. So mg will be acting vertically downward on the block. N will be acting perpendicular to inclined plane. Now, if we are solving from Planck's frame, we need to apply a pseudo force, and the pseudo force will be opposite to the acceleration of Planck. That will be small m into a, small m into a. Now what you can see, that when all these three forces are acting on the object is at rest. So what we can see here is, pay attention, this angle is theta, so this will also be theta, this was also theta, so this is theta. So vertically it will be n cos theta, horizontally it will be n sin theta. So what you can write is, everyone please pay attention, for block, so n cos theta, which is vertically, minus small mg is equal to 0, which is equation number 1. Okay, now the next thing is along horizontal, so what you can see is n sin theta minus ma is equal to 0, because here ma is a force, and that equation number, that is equation number 2. Okay, so if we dividing by 2 by 1, so what do we get? N sin theta upon n cos theta is equal to ma upon mg n. So tan theta is equal to a by g. So a comes out to be g tan theta. Answer. A comes out to be g tan theta. A comes out to be g tan theta. All right. All right. Any doubt, any question on this? Good. Ram is saying, please explain again. So what I am saying, Ram, please pay attention. We have talked about motion of block, small m. Okay. So when we are talking about motion of small m, mg is acting vertically downward on small m, right? Normal reaction will act perpendicular to the surface, because normal reaction is a push type force and it acts along the common normal. Third force is pseudo force, F pseudo, which is equal to ma, which is equal to ma, right? And that is along horizontal and opposite to the acceleration. Okay. So what we did, we resolved n into two components. One is vertical component, which is n cos theta. Another one is horizontal component, which is n sin theta. So for block along vertical, n cos theta minus mg is equal to 0, because it is not accelerating. And along horizontal, if we are solving from the Planck's frame, so n sin theta is towards right, minus ma, which was towards left, that's why we have used minus sign, and that is equal to 0.
and then we divide it and then we solve. Okay. Okay. Understood, Deepika, Ram? Okay, good. Next question on your computer screen. Please pay attention. Now, this question is basically a mix of the two things which we have studied. This angle is theta. This is a block. This is a block. Okay. So this block can slide basically downward. This is smooth surface. Okay. Now there is a string. This is a pulley. And then there is a mass. Capital M. This is M1 and this is M2. So the question says find value of hanging mass capital M such M2 does not slip. M2 does not slip on M1. Please solve, everyone. Please give me answer.
Ground is also smooth. Okay. Ground is also smooth. If you have any confusion. Okay, everyone, please pay attention. Now, as M1 and M2 are moving together, as M1 and M2 are moving together, we can consider them as system. We can consider M1 and M2 as system, right? So basically, what the question gets converted into, that small m, mg is acting downward and m1 and m2 are one block. So how much will be the acceleration? So if that is the scenario, if you remember, this will be m1 plus m2 and this is m. So what is acceleration in that case? We all know a will be capital Mg upon m plus m1 plus m2. Okay, and this a should be equal to g tan theta. This a g tan theta. We have just learned that. So this is equation number 2. So from 1 and 2, from 1 and 2, what should be the case? Capital Mg upon m plus m1 plus m2 should be equal to g tan theta. So this will be, or you can say should be, the answer. This will be the answer. If you have any doubt, please feel free to ask. If you have any doubt, please feel free to ask. Okay. So what I am saying, everyone, please pay attention. We know that if such sort of system is there, which sort of system? That one mass is hanging and other mass is on table, okay, or on horizontal, then acceleration is equal to mg upon m plus another mass. Here the another mass is m1 plus m2. Okay, so this is the acceleration in case of a horizontal mass and an hanging mass. Okay, so when one hanging mass is there and another horizontal mass is there, then acceleration is given by equation 1. Correct? Now in last question we saw that if one block is kept on another block and it is not slipping, then what should be the criteria? That its acceleration should be equal to g tan theta. So that is equation number 2. Now if both are representing a only, then we can compare 1 and 2. So when we compare 1 and 2, both are a, so mg upon capital M plus m1 plus m2, and that should be equal to g tan theta. Asmita, main purpose of this question was to apply physics, so that is fine. If in the question, if it is specifically says that you need to find value of m, then yes, you have to find. Here we can leave like this only. Okay, so that is sufficient. The purpose is to learn how to apply concepts and how to apply physics. Okay, okay, Deepika, say yes sir.